Welcome to the third model of the SaferAfrica e-learning course. This model is about road safety management. My name is Ludo Kluppels, working at the VS Institute in Brussels, Belgium. And I will lead you through this session. Before you start this model, you have already learned a lot of things about the basic concept of road safety, which was discussed in Model 1, and you have also gone through one of the most important issues for the developing actions, namely collecting and analyzing data. Before we can start with more practical aspects on infrastructure, users, vehicles, and post-crash care, I will give you some ideas on road safety management. And we have prepared 4 different sessions. This session is the second one, and it's about road safety strategy. The previous one was about the lead agency, her task, and how to organize it. After this session, we have also a session about how to plan actions and initiatives. And the last one is some information about funding, which is an essential part of a lead agency. But first of all, let's talk about strategy. What is a strategy? Well, from PARC we know that a road safety strategy is considered a high-level plan designed to achieve a long-term aim. The plan would often identify the vision on which a strategy is based, as well as actions, targets, performance measures, institutional arrangement, research and development, and funding requirements to deliver desired road safety performance. That's a whole lot. In this session, we have 3 different chapters. First of all, what is the vision on which strategy is based on? Secondly, to make the vision more concrete, a safe system approach is seen as the most effective one. And at least we form a basis that a country has to develop policies on. The vision on what we have to do about road safety depends in the first place of our values. What do we find important in life and in the development of our country? Considering the many priority needs of developing countries, road safety tends to be considered as a secondary goal, as it was certainly in the first half of the 20th century in Europe. Expansion of mobility and industrial growth were far more important than health care and safety. Values refer also to our way we look to people and to society. Is the state, the government, at the service of the inhabitants, or does people have to serve the government? What about equality between people? In road safety terms, we could also say, what is more important? For who is or important, the mobility of cars and trucks or the vulnerability of road users? In many European cities, this discussion between cars and pedestrians and cyclists for who a city has to be built is going on. It's a discussion between accessibility, mobility on the one hand, and quality of life on the other hand. It is also a matter of individual freedom, a few rules as possible, against restrictions and regulations, a matter of privacy versus control mechanism. But at least, if we take road safety as a serious issue, we must put one value on top, namely the ultimate elimination of serious road trauma. The first step towards this idea was taken in December 1924 in the US, facing the rise of crashes, injuries and fatalities on the American roads. but it took a few decennia before a real road safety policy was fully developed. Every road safety vision starts with the assumption that we as a society have to eliminate serious trauma for different reasons, especially the human cost and suffering and the economical cost on the long run. The most comprehensive vision is the one that was promoted in October 1997 by the Swedish government, the Vision Zero. It stated that it can never be ethically acceptable that people are killed or seriously wounded when moving within the road transport system. Instead of putting all the blame for accidents on the road users, as was being done in the most previous frameworks, Vision Zero starts from a shared responsibility between the system designers and the road users. If road users fail, the designers are required to take necessary steps to counteract the human failure. It's all based on the basic idea that life and health can never be exchanged for other benefits within society. The Netherlands have developed their own vision that's very close to Vision Zero, but there are some few differences. Their sustainable safety starts with making man the reference standard. People make mistakes. People are limited in their competence, and people are very vulnerable. The road systems and the design of vehicles must be based on these ideas. Many other countries have made adoptions of both visions to have a realistic and achievable, but on the other hand also challenging, embedded in a safe system approach. A safe system approach, as presented in this figure by Piark, starts from the fact that people are vulnerable and then that their body is resistant to a limited amount of force. Crash tests gave us a lot of information on the tolerance of humans, as well as for passengers, as drivers, as for people outside the car. This knowledge, combined with the conviction that we have to do all that's possible to prevent fatalities and serious injuries, will guide all the actions, laws and regulations in traffic. These actions and regulations will be enrolled in 4 areas. Safe people. Road users' behavior is certainly an important factor in preventing accidents. So we have to take care that they are good prepared and informed, and that they have all the necessary tools and competences to protect themselves. And of course, a good organized care for them. Safe roads. Road infrastructure should be conceptualized in a safe way, so that it guides people to safe behavior, and that it could forgive mistakes people made. Separating fast and low traffic, protect vulnerable road users, and regulate different traffic flows in a safe and non-conflicting way are some of the major principles. Safe vehicles. Vehicles should not only comply with technical conditions, which is of course very important, but has to take into account the vulnerability of all road users. In general, it has to do with handling the vehicle in a safe way, but also with some extra precautions, like sidebars on a truck to prevent that cyclists and pedestrians could fall under the wheels, and of course the limitation on their speed. Speed is the most crucial factor in incidents. Speed will make the difference between minor and major injuries in a crash. Especially the difference in speed is an important factor in the regulations of traffic. A good data collection and analysis can help to choose the right action and to evaluate the different initiatives. Actions and initiatives involve enforcement, regulations, controlling, engineering, developing good vehicles and good roads, education of all actors involved, and a well-organized and efficient post-crash care service. Reducing fatalities and seriously injuries is promoted by the World Health Organization, who made a very concrete and measurable target, a reduction with 50% at the end of the decennium. Having a number of targets is important. It's easy to evaluate not only at the end, but also in midterms, and to adapt, if necessary, the actions. This graphic presents the evolution of fatalities in Belgium in 2015 and gives a prognosis. The green line are the actual fatalities between 2005 and 2015. The dark blue line, the dashed line, is ideal evolution between 2011 and 2020 to reach the target of minus 50% fatalities. The other blue line gives a prognosis based on the data from 2015. If there are no new measures and action planned, it indicates a big difference between the desired evolution and the expected evolution. So new measures have to be taken to get our target. Although many African countries have implemented the World Health Organization target to reduce fatalities with 50%, especially for low and middle income countries, there are some difficulties. First of all, if motorization growth still continues, we could expect a further increase of serious accidents, even when the country undertakes a lot of actions. Secondly, if the data collection improves and more accidents are registered in the proper way, and the system is becoming more accurate, the number of accidents will also increase and the number of non-registered accidents will decrease. Besides a number target for the long run, also more qualitative targets could be and has to be formulated. This was done by the World Health Organization in their African Road Safety Action Plan. In this table, the more general goals are indicated per pillar. In total, 79 different actions are described by the World Health Organization for African countries. Each country has to make its own priorities. It is not possible to try to accomplish each of these goals in a short time. It also depends on the funding that is needed to fulfill these actions. So it's better to realize a small selection and to have the necessary funding and capacities to realize them and to maintain them. Better that than to try to realize a little bit of everything and to stay at the end with a lot of unaccomplished or incomplete, non-effective initiatives. In the midterm review of the African Road Safety Action Plan, done by the Economic Commission for Africa of the UN, UNICA, 23 countries were reviewed by different experts. This figure, copied from the report, shows that only a few countries have fully implemented a large share of the activity mentioned in the plan. Examples are Nigeria, Zimbabwe, and South Africa. Many countries are in process of implementing several activities, like Uganda, Kenya, and Gambia. However, several countries are still at the beginning. In the latest publication on road safety by the World Health Organization, which is called Save Lives, a publication of 2017, A kind of prioritization of the different goals and actions was summarized in a technical package. For each component, different actions are defined and illustrated with best practices. The classification is somewhat different from the one with the pillars, but in general, most of the activities of the action plan are put in a more concrete language. So let us think a little bit of the situation in your own country. Is there such an official statement about the governmental vision on road safety? And is it available for everyone on a website or an official proclamation? Have you any idea of the public opinion on road safety? Is there still a strong belief in destiny and the idea that accidents happen and there's nothing to do about it? Please take some time to reflect on this before you restart the video, but don't forget to restart the video. In his Road Safety Manual, the version of 2015 of the PIARC, the World Road Association, proposed a pathway to effective road safety targets and plans for low and middle income countries. It all started with the Road Safety Management Capacity Review, which means an analysis of what are the risks, what are the possibilities, how can things be improved. For this, Bliss and Breen have published a handbook with a last revision in May 2013. Road Safety Management Capacity Reviews and Safe System Project Guidelines is the name of their publication. Besides the development of a road safety agency and the organization of resources, a kind of demonstration project can, on the one hand, be used as a learning experience, learning by doing, and on the other hand, serve as a proof to convince politicians, but also the whole population, that we can prevent accidents and that it's worth doing such an investment. PR proposes to take a high-risk corridor or urban area as a demonstration project. If the risk is high, it's probably much easier to make some progress. And working on basis of a specific area brings all the elements, road, speed, vehicles, users, together in one plan. Data collection is a priority. Only based on facts we can prove that interventions and plans have some sense and that we can reach a certain goal. Such a good crash data system is necessary. The demo project, once it has to be implemented, needs to be monitored and evaluated on its intermediate outcomes, so that it could be adapted if things doesn't go wrong. By performing this demonstration project, a country could build up knowledge and capability. But this can be done by sharing information and experience with other organizations in other countries. Exchange of best practices is important. Such a demo project creates also the possibility to raise public awareness in the country on road safety. This could clear the path to get public and political support for funding and the creation of traffic laws and enforcement. Communication about such a demonstration project is of great importance. Having such a political support and the necessary funding, a more elaborated plan and target setting is possible. Data collection and analysis should be elaborated and results can serve as a continuous base for communication and for raising awareness. Having more different targets, collaboration with other organizations and creating a kind of road safety platform would enrich the actions and could improve the results on progress. So we are already at the end of our session on strategy. It's a very theoretical one, but the main objective of this session are that we have to build up a strategy on road safety that begins with the definition of our values. What is really important? A strategy must be built or embedded in a safe system approach. Otherwise, we don't have sustainable results. Such a system integrates all elements of traffic in a coherent way. There is a plan from the World Health Organization, especially for Africa, with concrete targets and actions. So please take it in your hands. And Pierre proposed to start, as a low or middle income country, with a demo project. This can help to gain support and more funding on the long run. So I thank you again for your attention, and I see you back in the next session on planning actions. Thank you very much.